we are gonna be going through every character's second ability ranked worst to best. And honestly, y'all, consecutive punches, I cannot describe to y'all how trash this ability is. First of all, it's not a guard break. So if somebody tries to block it, you can't do anything about it. If I spawn a blocking dummy right here and use consecutive punches, that is not, if I use consecutive punches right here, as you can see, the whole thing gets blocked. Sometimes people will stop blocking early and you can get a couple hits in, but dude, it doesn't really do that much in terms of comboing. You can do a down slam and do a consecutive punch into a down slam, but other than that, of course you can do 3 M1s or maybe 1 M1 or 2 and use consecutive punches, but most of the time, it's kind of just something to fill in for a combo. It doesn't really make or break a combo. It's just, if you don't use it, it's whatever. It just does more damage, and that's really about it. Now, if I were to go strictly off of starting it off as a combo, then, I mean, I guess you could... What? Anyways, if I started off a combo with consecutive punches, like let's say I started off here. If I started off with consecutive punches, I can do a whole bunch of other random stuff, right? Can I catch this guy? Oh my God. That was actually so clean. And she is not happy with what I just did. I am so sorry. That's also what's gonna be the second worst ability right there. Atmos Cleave. We're just gonna transition. I don't know why she's going so crazy right now. I'm just gonna reset. Can I reset? Can I reset? Thank you. The second one, I'm gonna have to say Atmos Cleave. And the reason I say this is because when you use the ability, you can't really move. That's first and foremost. Of course, after you use it, you can maybe get behind somebody. If they're not looking up the whole time, you can maybe use quick slice right afterwards. I'm gonna demonstrate once I get my ability back. I think it's a lot better to explain it as I'm in an actual public server rather than with the dummies. But if I do 3 M1s and then I use Atmos Cleave, or I get flown in by a tornado, maybe this is not the best idea. So we're gonna go back into a private server because why? I immediately got death countered. I used the wrong ability for consecutive punches and then I got hit with a tornado. Let me turn no cooldowns on, no dash cooldown on, and let's say I use Atmos Cleave. Can I really combo with this? Maybe. I don't really play this character that much, so I don't really know how good you can use Atmos Cleave with combos, but it looks like you can't really do that. Of course you can use quick slice afterwards, so if I use Atmos Cleave, and then I use quick slice, I think you can do something like that. That might work. If you use an Atmos Cleave finisher, it doesn't bleed into any other person. So for example, if you were to use Agaro's second ability, if you use Lethal Whirlwind Stream and you landed it on somebody else, they're gonna get stunned and it's also gonna do damage to them. But with Atmos Cleave, it doesn't do that. It strictly applies to this one person. So if I turn finishers on where is it? Right here, finishers only, and I use Atmos Cleave, it will only affect the person that I've hit with Atmos Cleave. It won't do it to anyone else that's in vicinity of that ability. Is it a guard break? Yes, it is, but it's also very slow. Look how much time you have to put into that stomp. It's a lot of time, and it's a bit in my opinion. All right, so for the third worst ability, I'm gonna have to say Whirlwind Kick. And don't get me wrong, when it comes to Whirlwind Kick, this is very, very good for combos. It's very good for stunning, and it kinda is a guard break. The reason I say that is because if I were to spawn a blocking dummy and I use Whirlwind Kick, I can still kind of guard break them, but the person that's blocking still has some time to hit me if they're blocking and I'm doing that little animation. The one thing that I'm kind of leaning towards in the positive side is that it's very hard to predict. It's literally just like a teleportation move. Unless someone has a good enough reaction time to block when I start to duck my head, then most times you can land it. Most speed of sound Sonics, they don't use this as a combo. They kind of use it as an engager, and that's why people punish them for using it. But the amount of time it takes for the kick to finally land, it also leads to the ability getting interrupted as well. But with how long it takes for the kick to land, you're also prone to getting the ability interrupted by like other attacks. And if I'm in a 1v2 situation and I use Whirlwind Kick on one person and the other guy's beside me, he can start slapping me up. But it's also very satisfying to use this in a combo. So if I use a little combo here, let's say, first let me turn finishers off because this is not gonna be a combo otherwise. If I do 3 M1s into an uppercut and flying shuriken and mid into explosive shuriken, and then I front dash, what is going on? 3 M1s into an uppercut into flying shuriken. As they're falling, you use front dash, 1, 2, 3, you use scatter, right? And then you do 3 M1s, and as soon as they hit the ground, you do a flash strike and go over and do a Whirlwind Kick. It is such a good combo. Look how much health they have. Just using the Whirlwind Kick as a finisher, it's so satisfying, right? But can you engage with Whirlwind Kick? You can do that, and you can use a combo off of it, but I've never seen it really done that much. So if I use Whirlwind Kick, I can use 3 M1s into an uppercut into flying shuriken, and then I can do pretty much the same combo. If I can land it, we do 3 M1s into a whirlwind kick, and then we do another 3 M1s into an uppercut. We use explosive shuriken, front dash immediately. We use another 3 M1s into a scatter. And then we use final 3 M1s, flash strike, jump 2 times, and then we front dash over. And then that is pretty much, it's not a full one-shot combo because they can kind of get out of it, but you can still use that if you start off with whirlwind kick. Now, how many attempts did it take for me to do that? We're not going to talk about it. Maybe you just learned a new combo today with whirlwind kick. I don't know, but we're going to go into the next second ability, which has to be beatdown. And the reason I say this, for one, you can't really interrupt it. If I'm using beatdown, you are in iframes, which if you don't know what that is, you're basically invincible as you use it. If you use beatdown while someone is nearby, you can also smack them in the front of the head with the bat. So I can also do damage like that, and you can stun them with it. See, we're getting into some more pros rather than the cons. You can do it from far away. If I'm standing here and I use beatdown, I can also dash into him with it. It can be used as kind of a front dash in most situations. Now, what are the cons? Is it a blockable? Yes, it is. If I spawn a blocking dummy here and I use beatdown, it's blocked. Now, to be honest, there's not a lot of cons for it other than that. If you miss beatdown, yeah, you're pretty stunned. Like, you can't really move for a little bit, so you can get punished. That's also one thing to think about. The combo potential is absolutely crazy though, because if I use 3 M1s into an uppercut, I can use beatdown as well if I'm good enough to do it. Uppercut, beatdown. Holy, you gotta be a little bit patient with it. You gotta wait till like they're right about to hit the ground. So 1, 2, 3, beatdown. Right there. So that can be used as a combo. You can use something like this and then to a grand slam if you're good enough to actually land it while they're falling, because trust me, it's not that easy. Or at least for me, it's not that easy for me. Why? Because I don't really play this character that much. Beatdown is just, it's such a fast move. Like, the only way you can really block it is if you know the character's gonna use it. If you're fighting and someone just whips it out on you, pause, you can't really block it. It's very hard to block it with just reaction time. Now we're gonna have to go into our second best ability, which has to be lethal whirlwind stream. And now this, I was really thinking about putting this at number 1, but I'm gonna explain that once we get into the last one, which I'm pretty sure you guys can guess which one it is. But the thing with lethal whirlwind stream, again, you are in iframes, you move around with it, you can stun other people if they're around, if they're nearby, you can knock them over, do more damage, all that type of stuff. It has crazy combo potential. You can do a front dash with it. If you are good enough and spam space fast enough, you can do a flowing water combo into it. You can even use Hunter's Grasp as soon as they land on the ground. You don't even have to wait for them to hit the ground either, because if you spam Hunter's Grasp fast enough, you can also combo with that. Every ability that is not lethal whirlwind stream and counter, you can combo with. Even a regular front dash you can use, right? If I use lethal whirlwind stream, I go 1, 2, 3. I can also use a down slam with that. And then I can use whatever I want, use whatever combo I need to do. So it is very versatile in that aspect. Now, what are its cons? Is it a guard break? It's not. It is not a guard break at all. If I use lethal whirlwind stream, they can block it. Now, they can't block flowing water, which is why it's best for the first abilities. But for number 2, the main con is the fact that it's blockable. So with that being said, we're gonna have to get into our final and best second ability, which has to be Ignition Burst. And the reason I say this is the best, I had to really think about this, because lethal whirlwind stream, you can do so many combos with it, you can do so much damage, it's versatile, you can stun people while you're doing it. But the thing with Ignition Burst is that it has a lot of speed, not even in terms of just moving. It's very hard to react to, because if somebody's blocking, you can just turn around and hit them that way. Even if they are blocking, you'll still do damage, right? If someone is like 10% health, 5% health, and you use Ignition Burst, let me get this guy low real quick. Let's say he's blocking, right? If I use Ignition Burst and he's still blocking, that would still kill him. Like the little roll that they do when they're blocking, the wind and just the knockback would still kill them, which is honestly so annoying. You can use this in the air. You can use it aerially. You can use it to run away, but if you do, I hate you. And if you're good enough, which I don't even know how you guys do it, I think you would have to do 3 M1s and then you would have to blast forward and then immediately do, I don't know how y'all do it. You Genos players scare me, like genuinely. So you would have to like turn around and that, something like that. And honestly, yeah, after you use it, they do fly away, but Genos really isn't that much of a close quarters character. He's a lot of running and explosives, and that's why I hate him so much. Garo for me is really just good for close combat and just stringing everything together, which is why I wanted to put it at number 1. But the thing with Ignition Burst is just you're able to do so much with it in terms of mobility. But if I wasn't recording right now and somebody told me what's the best second ability, I'm saying Lethal Whirlwind Stream. I don't care. That's my main character. This is just, it pisses me off. He just pisses me off. I hate Genos. I hate Genos. I hate Genos. But that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and click this video right here.